Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really wrestling with a tension that I think defines so many ambitious lives. It's this pull between the relentless pursuit of achievement and, well, the deep human need for actual inner clarity,
Yeah,
for peace.
it is the defining conflict, isn't it? We chase success because we think it will bring us control, bring us clarity, but the very process of the hustle, the constant motion, it so often leaves our attention just shredded. Our minds feel like a cluttered hard drive.
That mental fog. That's exactly it. That scattered feeling is what we're trying to cut through. And our sources give this really powerful contrast to frame the problem. Just imagine for a second a Buddhist monk sitting with a simple bowl of food. The ritual isn't really about the food, it's about the presence. Every single movement is deliberate, it's unhurried. The meal is this sacred moment of just anchoring yourself.
Okay, now hold that image and contrast it with the reality for, probably a lot of our listeners. You're grabbing a coffee, you're scrolling headlines about market volatility, and you're simultaneously just shoveling down some kind of prepackaged bar.
Gone in 2 minutes. Breakfast isn't a moment, it's just fuel. It's background noise for the next task on the list.
And you finish, and you have this feeling of, did I even eat? You don't remember the taste, you don't remember the texture.
Right, you're neither nourished nor satisfied, you're just slightly less hungry, and your mind is already 3 tasks ahead.
That feeling, that residual emptiness, the sources call it the residue of absence. And it's so powerful because it's the direct result of consuming without any presence at all.
And if you do that 3 times a day, plus snacks, you are constantly, actively rehearsing a habit of mindlessness. You're teaching your brain that attention is optional.
Which is the exact opposite of what you need for real high-level success.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to explore how this simple, totally overlooked act of eating can become a radical way to reclaim the attention you need for both clarity and sustainable success.
And we should probably start with the ancient wisdom because it makes this profound, almost startling claim. It says that what you consume shapes not just your body, but the fundamental quality of your consciousness.
Okay, I get the physical side, better food, better energy, but how does a plate of oatmeal leap from my stomach to the quality of my mind? What's the mechanism there?
Well, the mechanism is in this Pali Canon concept of ahara. Most people hear ahara and they just think, edible food. But the term actually refers to 4 essential kinds of nutriment.
4, okay.
Yes. There's physical food, sure, but there are 3 others.
Yeah.
Sense impressions, volitional thoughts, and consciousness itself.
Whoa, that expands the playing field dramatically. So a constant stream of negative news or just aggressive competitive thoughts, that's intake, in the same way a rushed lunch is.
It's precisely that. All 4 are forms of intake. They all feed the mind and shape its disposition. When you consume physical food mindlessly, you're doing damage, sure, but just think about the others. The endless social media feed, that's mindless consumption of sense impressions.
Right.
Dwelling on some perceived insult from a week ago. You're mindlessly consuming volitional thoughts.
And constantly comparing yourself to others on LinkedIn or whatever that was.
Mindlessly consuming consciousness.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you're constantly feeding your mind this low-grade toxic soup, you're polluting the whole system. You're guaranteeing that you stay in that mental haze.
You pollute the inner waters. That's the phrase. So what's the antidote?
The antidote is mindfulness, or sati. We hear that word all the time.
Right, all the time. But what is its core function right here in this context?
In this context, sati is the radical reclamation of attention. The ancient sages knew this, and, modern neuroscience is confirming it. Attention is the highest currency of clarity. When you anchor your mind in something as simple and non-threatening as eating, you're actually training the exact skill you need for wise decisions and deep focus in every other part of your life.
You're practicing presence. I found this instruction from Thich Nhat Hanh so simple and beautiful. He says, when you eat an orange, know that you are eating an orange. Don't eat your plans or your worries.
It's that simple. When you truly engage your senses, the smell of the peel, the cool weight of it, that burst of citrus, you are for that instant anchored in the now.
And the now is the only place clarity actually lives. You've freed yourself, even for a few seconds, from regrets about the past or anxiety about the future.
Which are the 2 biggest culprits in mental fragmentation.
Okay, but this brings us right into the modern dilemma, doesn't it? Success today seems to demand speed. Optimization, meal prep, protein shapes, efficiency above all else. How do I square this idea of presence with the raw demands of a high-stakes world?
That is the optimized life paradox. We see these incredibly high achievers who optimize everything, their sleep, their workouts, their food, and yet they report feeling more fragmented than ever. Their minds are going 100 miles an hour, but there's no inner stability.
They're winning the deals, but losing the capacity to actually enjoy the life they're building.
Precisely. So, if the metric of success isn't just the outcome, what's the alternative? Well, the Buddhist metric is the quality of the mind that produces the outcome. A mind that's steady, clear, and present, that radiates a much more sustainable form of success.
I'm still struggling with the idea of slowing down, though. Time is my most precious resource. Is 5 minutes spent just focusing on a sandwich really a strategic use of my time?
See, it's not about slowing down, it's about deepening your speed.
Deepening your speed. What do you mean by that?
Think of it like this. A scattered mind, you're checking your phone, thinking about the next meeting, it's like a scattered flashlight beam. It uses a ton of energy but doesn't achieve anything with precision.
A low wattage, wide beam.
Exactly. But a mind anchored in presence, that's a laser. It uses less total energy, but it cuts through steel because all that energy is consolidated. That mindful 5-minute pause isn't a waste of time. It's a massive investment in strategic focus for the entire rest of the day.
That makes a lot more sense. It reminds me of the Zen practice of oryoki, that highly ritualized eating. To an outsider, it can look so rigid, almost unnecessarily complicated.
And that rigidity is the entire point. Oryoki is designed to force complete moment-to-moment attention on a mundane act. It's training. It reveals the secret.
Yeah.
Any act, no matter how small, can be a doorway to awakening if you do it with full attention. Success is built on that kind of presence, not just sheer velocity.
So let's connect this to the science. What's the neurobiological proof that this practice is actually worth it?
This is where it gets really fascinating, because science is basically just catching up to what the monks have known for centuries. Studies show that mindful eating activates the prefrontal cortex.
Okay, so that's our executive function center, long-term planning, self-regulation.
The CEO of the brain, exactly. And at the same time, it calms the amygdala.
The fear center, our fight or flight response.
Right, so you are literally physically rewiring your brain for resilience and wise action just by focusing on the sensation of chewing. It's like free cognitive enhancement.
And this ties into that concept of namarupa, the mind-body link.
Yes, name and form. Think of it as a feedback loop. If your system, your body, is agitated from rushing and multitasking, the output, your mind, your decisions, will inevitably be cloudy and inefficient.
But a calm body.
A calm body, nourished with awareness, creates the foundation for a luminous mind. Clarity just emerges naturally once you stop polluting the inner ecosystem.
This also seems crucial for understanding why we're so ambitious in the first place. I mean, if I'm eating mindfully, I start to notice why I'm reaching for the extra coffee or the chips.
Absolutely. Mindful eating forces you to distinguish between physical, biological hunger and emotional or existential hunger. That discernment is incredibly powerful because it reveals tansha, or craving, which the Buddha identified as the root of all suffering.
So if you're using food to quiet some inner void, anxiety, boredom, fear of failure, you're probably chasing that next promotion for the exact same reason.
Yes, you're confusing striving with self-worth. It transforms your entire relationship with success. The question shifts from how fast can I get this done to something deeper.
To something like, am I pursuing this goal because it genuinely aligns with my values, or am I just trying to quiet a sense of inadequacy that no achievement can ever really fix?
That is the point of transformation.
Okay, let's pivot to strategy, to intentionality. Our listeners are ambitious, they need actionable takeaways, they're not going to a monastery, so how do we apply this in a real-world, high-stakes setting?
It's all about intentionality, not some impossible perfection. And the most powerful tool is maybe the simplest. It requires no extra time at all. It's the pause before the first bite.
Just a pause. For how long?
3 seconds. A single breath. That's it. And in that pause, it's just a silent acknowledgement. Gratitude for the journey the food took, the energy that went into it. You don't have to meditate, you just have to pause.
And what's the neurobiological benefit of that single 3-second pause?
Well, that pause generates gratitude. And gratitude is a powerful state shifter. It boosts dopamine and serotonin. It reduces cortisol. That simple act makes you calmer and smarter before you've even taken the first bite. It breaks the whole cycle of reactive consumption.
And that has to ripple outwards, right? Let's talk about the ripple effect at work.
At work, that micro reset is a huge competitive advantage. Mindless eating keeps your brain locked in reactive task mode. You go back to your desk and you're prone to making knee-jerk decisions.
Like firing off an emotional response to a critical email.
Exactly. But mindful eating, even for just 5 minutes, lets you actually reset. You step away from the urgency. You return to your work, able to respond wisely instead of just reacting impulsively.
And the source has also highlighted the impact on relationships, that how you eat is often how you listen.
It's so true. If you train your attention to be half present with your food, you're checking your phone, you're skimming a report, you are literally cultivating the habit of being half present in every other interaction.
That spills right into conversations with your team, your clients, your family.
But when you practice being fully present with your food, you cultivate the focused attention needed for deep connection, for genuine listening.
And finally, it teaches equanimity, which is so essential for managing the highs and lows of any ambitious career.
It trains you to meet life without that debilitating judgment. When you stop labeling food as good or bad, you start to see how labeling your own outcomes or emotions that way is what fuels all the instability. You stop swinging between indulgence and guilt, between hustle and burnout. You find the middle way.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. The core insight here, it seems to me, is that clarity isn't the reward you get at the end of success. It's the absolute foundation you have to build success on.
Precisely. The ancient sages, they weren't advocating for renunciation. They advocated for balance, for full participation in life. True success is this sacred marriage of the material world you engage with and the interior wisdom you cultivate.
And in a world that literally profits from our distraction, choosing presence at the table, even for 3 seconds, becomes a quiet but profound act of rebellion.
Every single choice for presence, every mindful bite is a vote. It's a vote for a world where success is measured not by what you accumulate, but by how deeply and consciously you live.
That's powerful. So mindful eating isn't just a diet, it's a threshold to a completely different operating system.
Indeed. And it forces a final provocative question for you to really think about after this. If you can see how deeply the simple act of eating shapes your consciousness, you have to ask, what else am I consuming without awareness?
Wow, okay. Am I consuming negative news forecasts? Am I consuming toxic conversations? Am I consuming ambition itself without ever questioning the true motive behind it?
That's the work. How do you succeed radically, sustainably, without betraying that quiet wisdom that lives underneath all the noise? True success is found in that constant return to the present moment, one mindful choice and one mindful bite at a time.